What a vibe. What's up, everybody? We're gonna get started in just a second. Until then, enjoy my tones. What's up, everybody? My name's Alckemy. Welcome to the channel. So, this isn't really talked about a lot in the world of Bitwig, and even in the world of Ableton. I actually did a lot of research and a lot of YouTube searching. I say research, I did a lot of searching on YouTube and Reddit, I guess, on how to DJ using the clip launcher. Shout out to Dash Glitch. Before I say anything else, he spent quite a bit of time with me on talking about stuff. He's got a video on how he does it, and he has a way about how he sets up cue tracks and stuff, but I am not going to do that. I'm going to do something more so in the lines of setting up a performance track list that goes from one track into the other. And then I have kind of done some pre-production on how each one is going to fade in and whatnot. But I thought that I would kind of give you, I guess, a tutorial or just a workflow manner about how to set something like this up, and then about how we can improvise on it or how we can do things. So my entire philosophy on what I wanted to do with the clip launcher is I wanted to be able to jump and play different tracks independently of BPM and have the BPM jump to wherever that's playing. And the reason why is because if you're playing everything at 127, then you're fine. You know, you can warp all of your tracks to 127. But for me, I have some stuff that's like 100, 85, 62, 124, 70. And so because of that, I want to be able to set up effects that are going to be in time with whatever the track is playing. And then also, if I want to use any kind of quantization on these tracks, then if the BPM is set up, then I can. So this was a pain in the ass to set up, first of all. But if you kind of like build it over time, and instead of thinking about I'm going to make a new project for every set, and more so think about I'm going to add to the set to where I've got just this huge catalog, then it becomes less of an issue. But yeah, so let's talk about how to actually get this working, because if you look at this, it's a little bit strange. You'll see that I have stuff on the master clip, or on the master, and then you'll see that I've got some of these things because my set's not done. I'm still building it, but I'll talk about how this dynamic works. But anyways, check this out. I want you to pay attention to the BPM here, but if I play slow and sloppy, we're at 80 BPM. If I play eyes wide, 85. If I play, most of the stuff is 85, but if I play moon pedal, 85, 100 BPM, 130, 140, 85, 88, 85. So the way that this works is you have to put your tracks on the master like this. And what you have to do is you have to go into your automation here and set the BPM to the bass, or like to whatever BPM you want this to be. So this was actually, before I started doing it this way, it was like incredibly annoying. But the easiest way to do this is, like, let's say you want to toss a song in here. Let's say I'm going to type in Through the Mist. So Through the Mist is a shitty drum and bass track that I wrote, and I say it's shitty because I don't like it. But you'll see here that this says that this is at 170, right? So what I'll do is I will, instead of trying to type this in at 85 or whatever, I will bring this up to 170. I think I actually wrote this at 85, but it's the same thing. But change your BPM like this to whatever it is that you want to do, and you'll see that on here it'll adjust for you. So all you have to do is click once, and this will set the BPM for the automation, or this will set the automation for the BPM every single time. So no matter what, as long as you put the track on the master, it'll play. Now, there are some issues with this, because if you have stuff that's playing on the master, because first of all, you're not even supposed to be able to do that, right? Because everything is supposed to be on the outside. But because Bitwig is Bitwig, and you know, shout out to Bitwig, I'm glad that I can at least do this. You can have this, you can have clips play on the master, but most of the time, if you have anything that's within the actual tracks, then it's going to override it. So I actually found a really cool trick that you can utilize for, it's really cool, but there's more to it. So I actually found a really cool trick that you can utilize in order to get stuff to play on top of whatever it is. And there's a caveat to it, but check this out. So what you have to do in order to be able to play tracks on top of each other is you actually have to create a duplicate of the source. So if I want whatever to be played, I have to make sure that I make a copy of this. Now what I do is I go into the editing here and I delete all of the audio content and instead toss in something like, let's say, a riser or whatever, like a riser effects. And then I can place this anywhere within the clip, where I would most likely place it right here. So that way, whenever I launch the scene together, because that's another component to it, they will play at the same time. So you see how there's all this emptiness? That means that both of these are going to play on the scene like this. And then when the end of the track is coming up, this riser will come up, so that way you can utilize that, or you can even use this to mix in the next song if you're not starting it from the beginning, which is fucking money. Now, the other thing that you have to consider if you're doing this to where like you're playing like one song after the other is you want to select all the tracks, and you can mess with the launch quantization if you want to. I haven't had much success with it, but it's cool that because it's always going to be at the specific BPM, if you want to quantize something to the next clip or whatever, you can do that. But what is cool is that you can set this to play next, but you don't want to do it on the clips themselves. You want to do it on the scenes, because if you do this on the scenes, then what's going to happen is it's going to trigger whatever is on here. And the other thing that I've realized, which you know is the caveat that I was talking about, is you can't do this with multiple tracks. So you can't be like, hey, I'm going to copy this over and then I'm going to have multiple sounds on here. It can only do one more. And I don't know why, but there is that. So if Bitwig sees this, I would love the ability to just have a separate timeline to where I can have something warp itself, or just automatically like a button, like a toggle button to go, you know, change the BPM to the clip, you know, so that way the tempo will follow the clip as opposed to the clip following the tempo whenever it comes into the clip launcher itself. And that would be really awesome. But anyways, yeah, so that's how this works. And now because of this, what's really cool is that, let's say I'm playing an 85 BPM tune, right? Well, I can click on the master here and I can start to play with different effects that are going to stay in time with whatever it is that I want to mess with. So in theory, I could let this play out, and what I could do instead is have like a MIDI fighter, or you know, just macro setup or whatever on here in order to be able to do all this stuff in time. Hey Kalai, what's up? You know, you could do something like snap heat. So this should be... So we would probably want this to set to like always retrigger, or maybe from like transport or something. But if you have some kind of transport options, I will say that this is going to work best with Bitwig devices. And the reason why is because they have more specific settings. So if I go to classic LFO and let's say I turn this on and turn that off, the low pass MG sounds kind of muffled. But if we turn this on like this and then we set this here, we can set this to note retrigger. So now this should restart whenever we hit play. Yeah, now that's in time. So what's cool about this is I can actually toggle 0 in order to turn this off. So I can be utilizing this or changing something about this, and then like if the break thing is coming up, oh, you gotta have that highlighted. But you see I can hit 0 to do that. And that would be the part that you have to practice in order to be able to do that. But at the same time, you could just be like, you know, turn the mix off. More or less benefit more from modulators than third-party VSTs. Well, the thing about it is that it's really just an interface thing. Because if I were to... Let's say I have the infiltrator back on here. And I've got something going on, and let's say I'm tweaking something in here live. If I tap 0, it doesn't work. This has to be highlighted in order for that to deactivate. So, wait, what about control? Yeah, so I also have Alt-A to deactivate or to just turn the plugin off, but that doesn't work. So anything that you can utilize, like, I guess something that you could do is build macros. So if you do have something like Snap Heap, let's say you're messing with that and you don't use this interface. Instead, you're just using whatever macros are available on here. So macro 1, macro 2, macro 3, right? And you're just tweaking stuff on here. So you know, let's say I'm doing something like this, and this would be at your own discretion to set up, but hey, Leroy, what's up? Then I could be like, yeah, so that's one way to do it. And I've talked to a couple of people about this and whatnot, but yeah, this is kind of how it's done. And the reason why I like doing it on the clip launcher is because that way, if you do it on the timeline, you don't have to like guess. And also when you do it on the timeline, it creates weird wonky, like it creates additional automation points that fuck it up. But if I don't know, Chi was telling me that if you do this on the master like this, then there's a 6 dB spike whenever it changes the tempo. So I'm going to turn off the clipper and the limiter. And then I'm also going to turn all of this down by 6, and I want to see if that's true. Which I guess if I have a limiter, it's not really going to matter, but I also don't want to have like an insane CPU spike. So what happens if I do this? No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. what happened here? Have I tried limit testing Bitwig in terms of CPU and performance by chance? No, but to be honest, that's just because I've got like a fucking crazy computer. I'm very lucky, but yeah, I've got an insane computer. 6 dB spike myth. Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, he DJs differently and his tracks are set up differently. They're mixed differently. I'm not having that issue, but if he says that, I believe him, you know? But I mean, yeah, it's cool because let's say like I start the track from the end of this here, and all I have to do is just let the next one play. So, and then it's ready to go. So you have to figure out transitions and stuff. But what I'm doing right now in the midst of building my set is I've had to whittle this down to 45 minutes. So what I'm going to do, if I haven't already, is we're going to go back into a range here where all this looks wonky. And this is, yo, what's up, bro? This is the actual set because this is 45 minutes, or it's a little bit longer than 45 minutes, but I don't think anybody's going to care. But I've had to kind of cut back on tracks and get that to where it wants to be. So this is the final set as I have now. But it's cool because I actually switched it from what I played a few days ago, and there's going to be some stuff that people haven't heard. And yeah, it's all kind of there. But that's how I'm going to set up my DJ template. And then I'm not going to use the Embod array this time. Not because I don't think that it's a great tool. It's because I'm carrying way too much technology already. Have I already hired cleaning staff for the set? That's not my job. Not my job. But yeah, I'm not going to use the array this time because I just don't want to carry around all that stuff, man. That's like, you know, I'm already kind of sketched out taking my laptop, knock on plastic, nothing drastic, but there's that. But anyways, I kind of just wanted to walk through of like my findings, my discoveries, the chats that I've been having with other content creators. Shout out to Dash, because he kind of gave me this idea in the first place, but making it actually happen, to be honest, the biggest thing was, can I show what I did to the low end? The low end on what? What do you mean? I didn't, well, do you mean on a track? Because I didn't do anything on the low end. Oh, nothing. I hadn't touched it. All I have is a limiter, and I have a limiter and a clipper. Like the songs are already like relatively mixed, so I don't see a reason to touch anything else. That could be ignorance, but yeah, I didn't do anything to low end. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm just trying to explain or trying to answer the question, but yeah, I didn't do anything. The only thing that I am going to keep, which is redundant, but still in case if I want to do like weird, crazy sounds that might spike or something, is I've got a clipper and then a limiter on here. I mean, we can make up for some mistakes and frequencies in DJ console. Yeah, so the way that this is going to work, at least to my knowledge, is that my laptop is going to plug into the interface, and then the interface is going to have the 2/4 inches that are going to plug directly into the CDJs. And then from there, I should have access to the CDJ effects as well. So there should be, you know, so really it should be me just being able to perform all different kinds of cool shit, like, and utilize all the effects and whatnot that I've made, and also have like some transitional things that are you know, helping each one blend. Because if you look at this, like, you'll see that there's that, like, the whole song will play, and then I can kind of just replace the audio there. But what's neat about that is I don't have to do like crazy ass mixing in order to make that work. Or I can start to build it out by, you know, building it with reverb and then drop it, you know, and just like turn it off or whatever. And that's kind of a practice thing on my end. But I don't know. I don't think that this is something that's like the end all be all, but I think that there's a lot of opportunity to try to DJ this way, because because the master is jumping around like that. Like, it's pretty freaking sweet, because it opens up like all different kinds of time-based effects that you can utilize to make, just basically just do sound design over whatever the fuck you're listening to. So that's why that seems really interesting to me. Does anybody have any questions about how this is set up or anything like that? I went through it pretty quickly, but there's not much to it other than, hey, okay, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yeah, unfortunately, you have to keep this on the master, though. I was hoping that I could just pull it off and do that, but in order to keep the tempo automation, it's got to stay there. I found a silly approach to making music. Okay. What you got? So that's that. We're going to switch over to Ableton now and do some sound design in Toblerone. That's my de-esser. People complain that I have extreme sibilance, but I mean, I don't know. It works really good for me. Dude, after sorry. After I am done with this fucking pack, I am never touching Ableton again. I hate Ableton so much. I hate it, dude. It always fucks up my computer. I know it's only coming out the right side. Give me 1 second. Fuck Ableton. Ugh, I'm so mad at it. Every time. There we go. Should be fixed. ASIO driver? No, I'm on a Mac. I'm on a Mac, so I don't even have an ASIO driver. Yeah, I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that. Let's grab a wavetable, and then let's do a sound check and see if that's gonna work. So irritating. Ugh. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, random sound. Pretend like I'm doing stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's obvious, but it is kind of weird that you're explaining that to me based off of you seeing how I work, you know, because that's kind of like, what should I be saying in this moment? Like, I'm glad that you found something that works for you. But that's kind of, I don't really know what to say, because I feel like the past like 10 videos, I I thought the past like 10 videos I've been talking about like, yo, you can turn any sound into any sound. So I don't know. I guess I'm a little like confused. But I think what's important is that you are able to, find a way to make music that is going to work for you. Because that's what it's about. 100%, bro. And to be fair, like I need to not be elitist about it because people showed me how to do it. Um, I guess the reason why I'm laughing is like, you ever run into a situation or like, have you all seen Pootie Tang? And if you haven't, there's a scene where Chris Rock is like, man, it's so fucking hot out here. You could boil an egg on someone's forehead. It's so hot that something, something, something. And like his best friend walks up to him and he's like, yeah, it is hot too. It's like, I'm sorry, Collide. I'm not trying to make fun of you. Please don't take it personal. I don't know. I'm trying to just be silly. But no, I think that sorry, coming back to this, I think that is probably like the most I did just put a video on it. I was like, that's the most important like sound design trick or the most important thing that I've actually learned out of music production. Yeah, no, same. That was something that she gave to me in a lesson, but is like if you start with maybe just one reference and then you start doing sound design without intention on it having to be anything specific and you do exactly what you're saying, then a lot of times you're going to end up making those crazy ass discoveries of like, whoa, I never thought of that, or how the fuck did that happen? And that's kind of what you're looking for. Because once you have that, then you know what I mean, like it's so much easier to find a riff. But yeah, when I was doing lessons with him, that's like the biggest thing that he kind of gave to me, and that's kind of like how I make music now. And it was kind of always there, but as a matter of like contextualization and stuff, um, what did I just do? As a matter of creating like contextualization and stuff, it's like that's what solved a lot of problems. Something I can't believe I made that sort of feeling. Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things that like you have to like someone can explain it to you, but like you really have to experience it for yourself in order to. I'm just gonna stay here with this guy because fuck. But yeah, I mean, who else? Who else does that? I mean, Frequent does that as well, and he talked about like just making random shit and finding those sweet cuts. But I think that the difference that Lee gave to me was that he kind of gave me a more focused path, but like still not having focus. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Making the right mistakes. No, I'd say like if this is something that you're just discovering, I would encourage you to go watch the rest of my shit because you're gonna be like, oh. And I'm not saying that like I make the most profound, that no, that's not what I'm getting at all. It's more so just a matter of like it's going to align with what you're saying. Or like what you're describing or like what you're experiencing, and that's kind of the point of what I'm getting at. I think I'm just surprised because you're a regular. I think that's what it is that because you're a regular and like it's like you hadn't picked up on it. I'm like, wait, what? Like I thought, I don't know. that's why I was kind of surprised when you said that, because I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like I've been teaching this for the last 3 months. So yeah, definitely go watch the other stuff, like the talking head videos, and like don't even watch them. Just put them on in the background, like while you're making food or studying or on your break. Cause yeah, I got you. But sometimes, like, as opposed to, I don't know, the way that I ingest YouTube now is like, as opposed to trying to be like, what are they doing? And like being really close and like really trying to follow stuff for like every single thing, I kind of just listen to it and I think about it and then I forget it. And then I come back and then I'll find myself remembering specific things that people are talking about. Bruh, they're there. You just gotta watch them. You ever what? I'm dying. Bro. Yeah, but I mean, go watch the other stuff first. Go watch the other stuff first and then see if it's helpful. That's what I'm getting at. So I don't want to make this waveform too complicated, but but what I decided that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give away, or I'm going to include these presets that I'm making within this pack, because in case if you want to modify the waveform or something, then then I don't know, I just feel like it's extra value. Because, and I'm doing this in the first place because you can only use Serum to create new wavetables, which it doesn't make sense to me, but what can you say? So let me turn all this other shit off. Have you ever noticed that I hear a certain note key, a color comes to mind? No, but that's called synesthesia. That's a thing. Yeah. That's what it's called. Synesthesia. Ja. Yeah, when I hear E, it's green color. Yeah, I don't know. I've never felt that sensation, so I can't really speak on it. But I mean, where did that export to? Wait, what? What the fuck? Desktop, my brother. Desktop. There we go. Yeah, it's crazy that even though I've built this rack, there's still so much setup involved. Okay. Do. What's going on here? For some reason that's oh, that's why. That's kind of cool. I think I'm going to go back to the detuning though. Cool. Let's work on the bass now. What's doing that? Oh, this is doing that. I was like, what? Let's go ahead and map this downward. Let's Let's go ahead and duplicate that. And we'll map this one to the morph. So so now let's go ahead and grab an EQ8. And we're going to put this just in front of the chain on the wet. Let's find some resonant points. Hey, NX, what's up, bro? Okay, we're gonna do that last, but let's grab a roar. Hey, Gutter, what's up, dude? Rawr. Hey, VA, what's up, bro? Rawr. Matrix. This doesn't look like a DJ set in Bitwig. Can't put my finger on it though. I just explained it. It took me like 5 minutes. Okay, that's starting to sound much more like what I was hoping to get out of basses and stuff. Bought a plugin because the UI put a big smile on my face, but it's fun too, so it's okay. The Amigo sampler. Yeah, that's like $10, right? I know what you're talking about. Useful with it. I mean, I've looked at it. I don't necessarily know what makes it unique other than it, you know, looking like the old tracker or whatever, but it's like I'm walking in on something you weren't supposed to. Please don't tell Corey. Sorry, please don't tell Bitwig. No, I honestly, dude, like, I think that after I finish this fucking pack, I'm going to, like, never open up Ableton again until they come out with a new update or something. But I am so frustrated with this fucking DAW. Every time I open it, it cuts my sound off. Fucking sick of it. Absolutely fucking sick of it. So tired of this fucking nonsense. Nonsense! Let's go straight. Like half speed. Let's modify. New. Yes. Just a tad. Let's grab this. And move this away from itself. Wait, you can't just set this to minus? Oh, okay. Okay, you can. I was like, what? Why? Like, why not just have a toggle where it's like minus? Try GarageBand? I have on my phone. It's kind of like, I don't want to say universally understood, but like for trying to make like complex racks and stuff like this, Ableton is not the business. It's kind of unanimous. I mean, I don't think that he would ever say it, but look at how fucking complicated Virtual Riot stuff is. And dude, first of all, Virtual Riot, amazing sound designer. Hey Jazz, no shade towards him, but look at how many LFOs he had to do just to get like a fucking EQ to work the way that you would want it to. It bothers me. I've like moved on from these old technical problems. Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm spoiled. I think it would be good to do just a touch of reverb on this. That could be nice. That could be nice. Pouring rain today? Oh, I'm so jealous. Yeah, dude, Ableton is beneath me. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like I'm sorry. I'm saying I'm really fucking tired of these problems, and I'm now realizing why I had such a hard time doing shit back in the day. And it just like also shows testament to how fucking G those other people were that were like making stuff, you know? Like realizing how much of a G Mr. Bill is, or Frequent, because dude, Frequent is still in Ableton. Like granted, he does a lot of resampling and shit, but like some of those guys making crazy fucking racks, like man, they like for that time period, it's insane. Could be a dB what I'm saying through the sounds. It's okay, you don't need to hear me talk. Amigo emulates how the Paula chip works with the sound, which gives it that certain characteristic. The stretching feature is probably the standout thing and can be automated. For me, it's just nostalgia. Does it have different warp modes? This actually did not take too long to set up a decent bass. I'm actually okay with this. It's not the best, but I'm all right with it. Let's move on to the percussion now. Hello. You know what? Why don't we start with a convolution reverb? That could be cool. Or a hybrid reverb, whatever. Whatever. Have you guys seen that episode of South Park where Cartman's like, whatever, I do what I want? And then like he goes on like Jerry Springer or something, and like the parents are just like bawling at how fucked up their kids are, and like he's getting into this fight with this little girl, and she's like, "Whatever, I do what I want," and they're like both saying that back to each other. I don't know, it's stupid, but I thought it was pretty funny. Hello. Okay, let's grab a shifter. Hybrid utility. It would be cool if I could set this time to 0 and just have it re-trigger, but I haven't figured out a way to do that. Stupid but funny. Dude, you want to talk about like getting away with the most offensive shit and not getting canceled? Like, oh boy. those guys, it's pretty wild. I tried watching South Park as a kid. My parents said no when I'm older. And I got older and I don't want to watch it. Happened with every show. Yeah, that's honestly not a bad thing, to be honest. Like South Park is pretty raw. And when I say raw, I don't mean like how the kids use it. I mean like they're pretty fucking offensive. they're pretty offensive. Good Lord, man. Oh, that's because the shifter is... No. It's too high. It's too high. Still too much. I might need to not do this. I might need to put that on this and see how that fares. How high does this go? 500? That's not enough. I don't disagree with them. Definitely shouldn't have been watching at that age. Yeah, for sure. So maybe what I can do is a mix of both, to where this is just at like 4%. Still too much. Just grandfathered out of the cancer culture. Granted, they are punching up most of the time, so it's a avoid mob justice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in certain cases, sometimes some shit like, you know, it's something that I talk with Corey about a lot, like, because comedy is really interesting in the relationship that it has with society, because, and you see it happening across, like, not just one group to another, but like everybody is making fun of each other, and like nobody's pulling punches, and it's like, ooh, you know what I mean? And it's like, who gets to decide whether or not it's okay to talk about and whether or not it's funny? But yeah, like Corey and I went to go see this comedian, and literally it was like maybe 4 or 5 days after the shooting at UNLV, and that person was already making jokes about it. And for me, I was kind of like, you know, I wasn't necessarily offended, but I was like, ah, man, that's kind of in poor taste, you know. But some people were laughing, you know, and some people want to cancel people like Dave Chappelle for, you know, saying really transphobic things and whatnot. And like, I'm not here to really talk about that, because I support everybody and want everybody to feel like they have a safe space and stuff. But what the issue at hand, or not the issue, but the topic or the the thing that makes me question is, when is it okay to talk about those things, and in what context, and who gets to decide like whether or not it's funny. And that's why South Park is an interesting like thing to watch, because they do not consider any of what I just said. You know what I mean? They're just like, fuck it, it's funny. And they're still on the air, so absolutely genius every now and then. Rick and Morty is similar. Well, it's not even a matter of pleasing everyone. I think that it's kind of one of those things of like, I don't know. Some people use comedy to deal with trauma. Some people, I also think some people use comedy to try to like, you know what I mean? To try to put others down. So, I don't have the answer. I really don't. But that's just an interesting observation. Comedy is just technology. It can be used for good and bad. I can agree with a lot of that, yeah. Something else that I talked with Corey about was like, we've really advanced in a society to where like a lot of the conversations that we're having right now are about feelings and like less about survival. Well, in some cases, like the suicide rate for teens and certain minority groups are absolutely insanely high. But that's not their fault. But no, like, but we're having way more conversations about feelings than almost anything else. And on one end, like, it's nice to think about for more and more people, because not everybody lives this way. They're thinking, or they're not having to worry about, certain problems like that. Or maybe they're prioritizing. It's not for me to say. But like, I had to explain to Corey, I was like, I come from a place where nobody gives a fuck about how you feel. And like, maybe call it toxic masculinity or whatever, but it's like, regardless of how you feel, like, you got to wake up and go do your shit. And I would never tell somebody that that's how they need to think or that's how they need to be. But I do believe in like an aspect of like knowing when it's time to have tough skin, and knowing like when you have to be able to put your feelings aside in order to achieve or in order to get something done. But I don't mean that in a means of invalidation. I just mean that like it's just an interesting thing as I get older to see like how that's becoming more and more of a thing that people are talking about. And I think it's a good thing, man. For the most part, anyways, especially for like, you talk about men's suicide rate. Oh my God. Like, it's really fucking high. And I think that a lot of it is because they never really had a platform to be able to like, share their shit, because you got to be a man, you got to suck it up, you got to, and even for me, I identify with some of that. I agree with some of it too, but not because I'm a man, but because of like, if a tiger wants to eat me, he doesn't give a fuck about how I feel. And at that moment in time, my perspective needs to shift to, oh my God, there's a fucking tiger that's getting ready to try to maul me. At the same time, provided that we are living in a more luxurious life and we are able to actually, sit here and be like, all right, let's get to the bottom of this now. Like, I think that it's really important in like growing society and advancing like our social intelligence, perhaps. Is that fair to say? That's why I like talking with Corey. This is like her world, and she's really fucking smart. And I like to just discuss stuff with her about these kinds of things. But yeah, it's crazy, you know. It is. It is. I've always been an extremely empathetic person, but she's never like broken HIPAA or anything, but like some of the experiences that she's like talked about having with me is kind of like, oh fuck, I didn't think about that. And yeah, it's incredibly invaluable perspective. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I started talking about like feelings and shit. I don't like that. All right, we're gonna start over on that. Ding 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 ding. Do 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 do. So let's try random sample and hold again. We set that to a higher rate. Suck it up and make these Ableton racks. There's a time and place. So maybe if I apply an LFO to this and make that jump around, and then maybe if I do another one, so that way it's different, and I put it on this guy, but only at like a smaller percentage. How high does this go? Oh, it only goes to 24, so maybe 50% then, yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I don't want it to have that. Oh, I know what to do. Maybe if I put it behind the utility. Why is this behaving so strangely? Does anybody else notice that? That's really weird. Okay. We can use an echo. Because an echo has its own built-in modulation into it, so that should be a little bit easier to work with. Jump around. Man, you guys really judge me harsh for this. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that filter because I really don't want this to be so shrill that it's just fucking up people's ears. crazy. Let's use another one and move this down a little bit more. Okay, that doesn't do what I wanted to. Let's try putting this on ring. This seems to be the most stable, or the most like usable, which is kind of weird, but okay. Now, can I? No, I can't. But I can do this. Face looking a little weird today. You know what else is looking a little weird today? I'm just kidding. There we go. How's the new Ableton stuff treating me? I hate it. I hate it. I hate Ableton. I didn't like what they did with the search bar and all. Yeah, I think my beef is just with a bunch of shit. There's a lot of issues that I have with it. It's really just like, it's not bad. It's just so ass backwards now compared to like how I've grown to work. And like you can watch my Live 12 review. I would say do that, because I don't just want to bitch about Ableton. In fact, I've had to stop. That's true, Zucker. Also, hi, welcome to the stream. I've had to like tell myself to stop bitching about Ableton so much, because I found myself like really complaining about it and being like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And it's like, dude, shut up. You chose to do this, so fucking make it work. Which is true. But I'm hoping that this preset pack that I'm making is going to do well, and people are going to enjoy it. They're going to find value in it, and they're not going to have to go through all the shit that I went through in order to make this happen. So it's because I love you. It's also because I'm hoping to make money. Let's be clear. But at the same time, I do think that these tools are useful. And, you know, if you have a rolling sampler mentality like I do, then it's like, okay, yeah, yes, I see the value in this. Which, you know, I've done the Requiem or Eternum, whatever you want to call it, for Faceplant. I've done it in Bitwig, and then now I'm trying to do it in Ableton because Ableton can do it. So is it a pain in the ass? 100%. Is it something that, you know, maybe people that don't have Faceplant or Bitwig could find useful? That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, it's going to be probably the same price as the Bitwig version, because it's not going to be as much content and the flexibility isn't quite there. But what I'm going to do is include all of this. So what you're going to, yeah, I guess just to talk about what you're actually going to be getting, you're going to get these effect racks. So the Atmo effect, Neurobass, percussion. So wait, probably these three. So that way, if you want to just build your own racks, you can kind of do that. So that way you can hot swap. Then on some of these other ones, I also have these templates. No, absolutely not. No. So even though I'm doing all of these in Wavetable, what is kind of nice is that I've created these racks for all of the major synthesizers. So in theory, like if you want to do it on Meld, then you can drag this in. maybe. And this is already set up for you. So all you have to do is go into something like Atmo, go replace, and then go into the user library. And I haven't saved these individually yet, but let's just pretend like I have. Then you can hot swap it with, let's do void. Where's confirm? Sure, we'll double click. New, yes. So now this thing that is on the void, you can hot swap them out on the fly, and that way you can do the same thing with building your own custom racks. And then I'm hoping that, is this all, what is this tied to? Yeah, it's still here. So luckily this does keep the same automation, or the same, yeah, it keeps the same macroing, which is nice. Great, it does. Okay, I was really worried about that. So yeah, in the same way, you can just hot swap the racks out and build your own stuff. And then I've included, like I said, the setup that you need for each and every individual synthesizer. So that way it's going to be like the Lego feature that I've kind of come into building, that I've kind of like really helped my channel grow off of. And even though I'm only keeping the presets to the wavetable, it's still cool because you can kind of mix and match and stuff. And it's going to sound nuts because like I can't really predict how like different sounds are going to be through here, but they are effect racks. So tweak the effects, or like change stuff and make it yours. Like do different kinds of stuff, get in there and have fun. And what it does is it gives you a whole list of pre-built stuff in order for you to go and tinker and change in order to create new shit. And then at the very least, if you don't feel like doing any of that, what is really cool is you have the snapshots, which is unique to Ableton. This is probably one of my favorite things about it. You can just go random and it will create a new set, and you can go new, great, random, new, and then now you've got new presets out of this preset. And the benefit of it is that you get something unique every time. And the whole point of why I do all this stuff is to just get random shit, kind of like what you were talking about before, Collide. That's why I was laughing, because I was like what you're doing is the essence of what I've been doing for like years now. And so it was kind of funny that like you're like, oh, I found this way, and I'm like, wait, what? So, but yeah, that is my whole philosophy on how to make shit, is to just utilize this, like set a sequence, or put a different set of effects on this, or change them out, or no, you're fine. But what's also cool is you can just pull this out individually, and that's why I have the effect templates here. So that way I can just be like, oh, here we go. I want to put this percussion rack on a completely different sound. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like Legos, right? Because what you can do is you can put them all together and build your own, or you can individualize the different pieces and put it on different stuff. And that's what, to me, that's what makes this shit valuable. Racks on racks on racks, and Ableton really fucking made me racks on racks on racks way more than I wanted to. This should have been 4. It should have been neurobass, percussion, atmosphere, rack, all encompassed in one. But I have to go like rack within a rack within a rack within a rack within a rack, and then figure out how to set up all the macros and shit, and it drives me crazy. But yeah, that's how that goes. So Ableton and Bitwig both have excellent stock capabilities. I think the stock sounds, like the effects, are awesome, 100%. I hate the modulation system. Automation, great. Modulation, it sucks. And I could back that up. And one of the biggest and like most annoying things about this is that almost every single synth engine has a different set of modulation built into it. So for example, you've got this, right? And if you look at this, you've got LFO1, you've got no smooth random, but it's weird because they kind of were like, isn't there a noise thing on here? Yeah, so you can set like a random thing if you wanted to do, I don't know, something like that, but you can't really control that. But if you pull up something like, sorry guys, now I'm on a rant, but if you pull up something like Roar, the modulation on it's almost completely different. Look, now you've got this stuff, envelope, noise. If you pull up meld, the mod sources on this, it's completely different. And it's like, why why is this like this? Why can't this be like just fucking modulators on all of this? Like, they're cool and I want to use them, but you know what I mean? It's like, why are you like this? So anyways, that's my qualm with why I hate Bitwig or Ableton's modulation system. I'm not saying that like it's all bad 100%, but it's just fucking ass backwards. Literally backwards. Bitwig modulation blows us out of the water. It's not even about that. It's more of the just making sense as a workflow. Like, yes, okay, like yeah, I converted into a Bitwig person, but the reason why I converted into a Bitwig person was because it made sense. The modulation on this does not. Yo, Meld, why are you like this? Yeah, so I don't know. Thank you for listening to my rant. That's my issue with whatever the fuck is going on here. Okay. On to other things. It's because they are different instruments rather than modular components. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, is even by design, like it's an issue for me. It's an issue because of how I want to route stuff and how I want things to be set up. It's not flexible. To me, it feels like somebody different designed every one of those, which would make sense for the older stuff. But even for the newer stuff, it makes me feel like somebody had like completely different designer. Yeah. People say that Max for Live is more powerful than Bitwig Grid, whose grid is more enjoyable than Max for Live IMO. Okay, so there's some truth in that. I wouldn't say entirely, but I think that Bitwig's grid is easier to learn and easier to like get stuff working right out of like just from the default patch. But the thing is that Max for Live, you can essentially create a wider array of devices, and you can also create interfaces for them. So I would say that Max for Live is a lot more like Reactor. If any of you all remember that, is Reactor even still a thing? But I'd say Max for Live is a lot more like Reactor than it is a modular thing for just a modular sound design environment. And I would compare the grid to something like Cherry Audio, or what is the other one, VCV Rack, because those are more hand in hand. The grid is efficiency, instead low level control and module development. To be honest with you though, like there's a reason why I don't use the grid in Bitwig, and that's because it doesn't have grid racks. And again, you want to talk about making sense. It's like, I'm not just a fucking Bitwig fanboy. I love Bitwig, but some of the stuff in there I really dislike. For example, you can't create racks. You can create an effect rack, but it has to go in the device chain. And so if you build a compressor inside of the grid, in order for you to move that compressor to another grid patch, you have to copy and paste it somewhere else. So it's like I spent all this time reading all these manuals and looking at digital signal processing to build a compressor, which I'm sure most people would be like, it's not that complicated. It's complicated for me. But I don't want to do that. It's just not as efficient. Hey, Robot, what's up? Oh, that's Vic. What's up, dude? Yeah. It's I really want contained nodes or grid racks, or something that I could be like, hey, save this chain. Nobody beats C++ anyways. I don't know if and when a Bitwig comes out with the ability to save that stuff, then I will, because that means that I can do exactly what I did with this, to where I built a template and then I started modifying the template to build presets. And same thing with Faceplant, same thing with Bitwig, with the native devices. But like, no matter how cool the grid is, you don't have access to basic stuff like an EQ, like a real parametric EQ, or some of the main things that are within there, like a actual reverb. You have to use those as a device. And so there's this integration issue that I have, to where you can only put specific devices at the beginning or at the end of a signal chain. And that's why I'm like, it's not as efficient. There's no reason for me to work in that way. I promise I'm not all negative, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just talking about shit that bothers me. To be honest, Bitwig native devices, even without the grid modulators, is hella strong. Well, yeah, that's why I built Nocturne, because Nocturne, or like this device approach, I think is really archaic, but it does work in the context of Bitwig because you can put it in whatever chain. It doesn't look like Patcher, but it is Patcher. You know, you can create, you know, several, and with Ableton as well, you can create several chains that have a signal flow that all go out to the end. Multiple instruments, multiple effects, whatever it is that you want to do. But excuse me guys, sorry, hold on one sec. But yeah, within the grid, it's like they're missing a lot of components. Like there's no reverb, there's no built-in compressor, there's, you know, still technically not a real soft clipper. So it changes the way that I try to think about, like, I don't want to like do something right now just for the challenge. I do sometimes, but right now I'm like, how can I be the most efficient with my time? And that's what I look for more than anything. Okay, so regarding all that, sorry guys, let's keep going. It's still pitching, and it shouldn't be pitching. Echo? Yeah, it's just a delay. That's weird. Hey Whisker, what's up? No, it's just broken. It's definitely in the mod section or whatever, but what's happening is, even though this isn't set up, the repitch thing is turned off. It's still fucking it up, so that's okay. It's all gravy. I think a little bit would be okay. I'm not so hell-bent on it being perfect. I do want it to sound cool. That's my goal. So as long as it sounds cool, I don't really give a shit. Because I'm not really going for something specific. I'm just kind of like, hey, what does this do? Ooh, what does this button do? Anybody? Dexter's Lab. New audio node environment. Hadn't seen that yet. Oh yeah, Pure Data. It's basically like a plugin builder, but I think streamlined, if I'm not mistaken, which is cool. B repeat, auto filter. Let's try B repeat. I don't remember how this works. Okay, now I remember how it works. It has to have an incoming signal in order for this to Yes. Yes. So let's go ahead and utilize all these to... Does this go up? Yeah. It is confusing, but I think I got it. It's not so bad. Maybe here. Oh, did I unmap that? It unmapped itself. Mapping unsuccessful? Does not support this operation? Okay, does it support that? What? Okay. So I'm going to turn this down a bit. It's like confused. That's all right. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so. So this is not really working. When is the next sale for... I'm not sure. Probably summer sale. think we want to do insert or gate. What am I doing wrong, guys? Does anybody know? There we go. Okay, I got it. I wish Bitwig was able to look this dark. Too bright when using it at night. What? It can be darker. This is gonna kill my audio. Fucking fuck. Ableton, why are you such a fucking whack experience to work with? Test, 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 test. How's that? Every time. Yeah, I get the playlist is. I hear you on that. So I think we'll just utilize this to create some cool texture on top. Maybe. There we go. trying to be like way too specific with some of the shit I was trying to do. So now I'm just kind of like, it doesn't need to be that complicated. Do 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 do. Let's change the width. Let's do another one and change the time. Can I do that? There we go. There we go. Bitwig, dot, 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 dot. Yeah, she had dot, 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 dot. What about Bitwig? That's a little far. No, I'm just trying to wrap up this pack. I mean, I made an EP in 2 weeks. Maybe not 2 weeks, but pretty close to 2 weeks. So I'm taking a small break from production. And then at the beginning of the video, I actually talked about how to DJ in Bitwig. That sounds really cool. I DJ'd a couple times using Live and APC 40. Well, it's at the beginning, so you can go back and take a look at what it is. I'm going to do a dedicated video on it, but I just wanted to cover it because I stayed up really fucking late last night trying to figure it out, and I had help. Dash helped me. Lee talked me through some stuff, and I got it going. Let's throw a grain delay in there, maybe a filter delay. Let's get some LFOs in here. Start messing around with that. Do 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 do. Sorry, I'm hearing stuff that could be a song. Starting movement called DJs disc jockeys, but that's what they used to be called. What do you mean? What are you saying? Say it isn't so. Dynamic 2, corpus. Performer, phaser, flanger, roar, saturator, shifter. Let me try a vocoder. $20 bands, 20 bands, 40 bands, lots of bands. That could be cool. If we go random 1/8 and mod this beer to this and do it over here as well. Maybe change the format. And then this guy on the delay time, this beat delay needs to be random. Wonder if anyone actually uses Ableton's vocoder and voices. Yeah, definitely. They sure do. Let's put a reverb on that. Sure they do. What do you mean? Sorry. Okay, what's going on here? I think it's alright. I got some issues with it, but I do think that it's a step in a good direction. There are some things that make me really annoyed with it, though. I was afraid of that. No, I don't gamble. There we go. Cool. That's nice. This is all Ableton stuff. Lots of people from Cirque do gamble, and I am from Cirque, but no, I never go gamble. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty common. I don't know. Actually, to be fair, I feel like it's a lot easier for somebody at Cirque, or like if you work at the MGM or whatever, to go play after your shows. But for me, like, I always just went home because I was tired and I wanted to play Warframe. And I wasn't with Cirque for very long. Like, I was with other shows for a lot longer, but I was at the end of Chris Angel's show. If you look at that's when he was with Cirque du Soleil. But if you look at this little plaque right here, that's what that is. This was my first show over here. You can't see that, but that was the first casting thing that I went in. And then October 29th, I believe, 28th, 2018, that was his last show with Cirque du Soleil. So I was there, and my grandma was there. Rest in peace, Grandma. I miss you. But yeah. Nice. I totally understand wanting to just go home and chill. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the thing that bothers me about the casinos the most is the smoke. That's the big issue for me, is like everybody's smoking and shit, and I'm just like, I don't know what that sound was, but yeah. How's the G Space collab going for me? It's done. Well, it's done up until the point that I'm waiting on him to finish it. But did you hear like what we did, or like did you hear how far I've gotten? Because he hasn't worked on it yet. I could play that for you if you want. We could take a little intermission here. Use the restroom or something. I heard bits of it. Mind giving it a play? Yeah. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. It will, yes, but I wouldn't call it a full collab yet. Grady sent me a piano loop, and I made everything out of the piano loop, like everything. The drums, the bass, no, not the bass, the drums, the pads, all that other stuff. So I'm going to, I sent it back to him and I'm waiting for him to put some other stuff on it, but it's going to end up being a collaboration, but I kind of went and wrote an entire arrangement. And I tried to leave some spaces because I know what Grady is good at. And also I was like, hey, if there's anything that you want to change, then we can do that. Or if he wants to write his own part or something, he's more than welcome to do that. But that's what we have so far. He sent me something, I made a song out of it, and then hopefully he'll feel his vision will align with what I wrote. Maybe wrong, but it seems a little heavy on the distortion, or maybe it's too much similar frequencies. Sounds dope though. Love the sequencing. I mean, I'm not releasing it tomorrow, but thank you. Clean mix for me. I think that distortion comes with the territory. No, it's fine. I'm just like, it's not coming out tomorrow on Spotify. None of my music is coming out. That's just giving an opinion for whatever that matters. Okay, heard. Is there anything else with this that I want to do? I don't think so. I think this one is about done. So what did I call this? Not too complicated. Complicated. Not too complicated. So do we have 10 yet? I've got to be close. Because I'm only going to do 10 of these. I really don't want to do anymore. I really never want to open this up ever again. No, we don't. Fuck, we've got 6. Everything's separate in my headphones anyway. I mean, it's fine. The goal for me with all of this was just to get it to a playable point to where like it I can play it out and people will be like, oh, it sounds good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got 3 more to do, I guess. Proof of concept, ganglion, drum circle. I could have sworn I've done another one. I guess not. NB taste. Schlapper. Void. I think those are just effect templates. Alright. So what BPM is it? 140? That's what he sent me. He sent it to me in D minor. I changed it to D sharp. I think that a lot of mid-tempo is in D if I'm not mistaken. Sorry guys, I'm trying. Any questions about this? I try to do at least like one of these every other day or something, so that way there's that. But we also have the patch saved, and then I'll include the wavetable in a separate thing. So after I finish making probably 10 of these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include the serum patches in case if you want to modify the wavetable. I'm going to include the waveforms of the wavetables themselves, so that way you can put it in anything else that you might want. And then all of these I'm going to go back and relabel all of these and save them and basically distribute them to the proper, like, it will be like blooper duper Atmo, or blooper duper Neurobass or whatever the fuck that's supposed to be, and it will all be separate for you. And then I think the last thing that I want to do, and I'm not going to do it until I'm done with the patches, but I'm going to replace this sound because it's always the same in every other granulator. So that way you get just, I don't know, something cool. Maybe some kind of pad or something that sounds nice. What ears I have me? Who didn't come off in a douchey way? I think I'm a douche. We all douche when eating. We all a douche when eating. What? Huh? Anyways, any questions about this setup or something? And if anybody's interested, I have presets like this available for Faceplant and Bitwig. So that's on alchemy.com. Not trying to sell you anything, just saying, hey, if you find this stuff useful. Duchy is saying that's crap, not how unnamed hipster artist does it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of trying to like brush off. Anytime anybody says I sound like someone else, I think they mean it as a compliment, but I try to just be like, okay, thanks. But I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm trying to just be myself. But I mean, yeah. So Control F. In theory, this is all you need. You don't even need this right here. But what's cool is like if you have rolling sampler on your master, which we usually do, rolling sampler, then the way that this works is you just start plugging stuff in. So change stuff up and have fun pulling things out. So I played my set yesterday. Well, just the tracks anyways. So anyways, you can take all that and utilize this in rolling sampler and start pulling stuff out and get ideas for tracks, or have a melody set up and then you just pull out the audio and start working with it. But this is how I make all of my music now. Maybe not necessarily with these devices. I make these devices for when I'm either not inspired or pretty much for you all, so that to give you all like something unique to jump into, so that way you don't have to work really hard at getting a wide variety of sounds. But I would always say, like, expect to take this stuff further, because once you start implementing even something like Beam or Snap Heap or Infiltrator, like, it just, there's so much cool shit that you can get yourself into. Just generate something new, it doesn't even matter. That's really cool atmosphere. This plugin is so cool, you all. Like, I love this thing. It makes such cool shit. Like, even that, That was cool. I'll probably never get that again, but actually that's kind of cool too. It's a little loud, but yeah, this is just how I start making tunes. Obviously that's atrociously loud. Yeah, just different stuff like that, and messing around with playing with other kinds of possibilities. But once you have a vibe, you can just be like, that's cool too. Like that's kind of cool as well. So like a yeah, all kinds of cool little pinkety dinkities and trinkets and stuff that I like messing around with. So we can do something kind of like this, where we can create like a sonar, which is kind of cool. Oops. Or I probably even want to do something like what's the best DJ table? I don't know. I'm not a DJ. I would not recommend that. Do 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 do. Reminds me of the Alex Perez and Ivy Lab song. L stop, L stop, L L L L. That little chimey thing. So that's why I was kind of playing into that idea, but. The one the resident DJ is used to, assuming there is one. I just, to be honest with you, this table is just a Walmart plastic picnic table, but look how wide it is. It was $80. $80. Oh, $80. You all, $80. $80. Super cheap. So if you need a lot of space, and the cool thing is that this table is really light and it folds up. It cannot sustain, it's weird, it can sustain my monitor, but it cannot sustain my mic stand because like I've practically punched a hole through this. But we're trying. It's trying. Yeah, I like that sound, so I'll probably throw that in Bitwig and use it for something else. But anyways, that's how I start thinking about tossing tracks together and just coming up with different shit. But that's what I do. Well, I'm about to take off. Got a hold of Beam. Gonna go play with it later tonight. Yeah, I think what I would like to do is I really want to try out Life. Please don't crash. Please don't. Fingers crossed. Still here. Still here. Still on. That's because Bitwig is a G. Fuck Ableton. So I've got 3 more of those to do, and I might finish that up over the weekend or something and start putting that together. But yeah, there was this other idea that I was messing with on the same project as this that I thought sounded really nice. Like this clip in particular just had some really nice hooks that I was like, man, like I'm going to write a song over this at some point. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. I need to turn off all this other stuff, but listen to this, man. It's so nice. Like, oh. That is so nice. Yo, Lynn, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Soul Steel, thank you so much for joining the members, bro. Appreciate it. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. Just you being here, I really appreciate it. Is this on repitch mode? So yeah, I came up with this little riff, and I'm not going to act upon it right now, but just something that I've been playing around with. Yeah, I can hear it. Like I said, I'm kind of taking a break from making music because I've been busting my ass making music the past month. But we made this yesterday, Monday. Just want to say thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Forgive me if I've been cynical the past 2 days. I think I'm just tired. Well, I'm always tired. No, I had a bone to pick with some YouTube people, not creators, but just all the hate that Beam received, and it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way, so I had to vent about it. I don't really have anything else that I want to do today. Does anybody have any questions about anything or any production related things that you want to discuss? I think Friday, I kind of want to give Life a try. I was really concerned about the EULA because like their thing was kind of unclear. But yeah, I do want to give Life a try. Or I guess I could do it now. Hold on. That's such a pretty song. Do you mind if we run this back? Just while I do this. I didn't ask, I just did it. Sorry. No, sorry. But yeah, while I'm doing this, if anybody has any production questions or things that you want to discuss, more than happy to chill with you, figure out what's up. Where did that go? What the fuck? Oh. I'm installing the trial of Life right now. Put something else on in the meantime. Something kind of along the same vibe. I feel like you answer a lot, but how long have I been producing? A little bit over 10 years now. But that's why I'm here. You know, like I am here majority of the time to talk to chat and have conversations and stuff. Because like I could be doing this production on my own, but it's not as fun. And I know that sometimes I get really into what I'm doing, but for the most part, I like to interact with chat and just have something to discuss or have somebody to listen to me while I rant. This is almost done. I didn't really start figuring shit out though until like a few years ago, honestly. And even then, yeah. Oh man, tell me about it. I did 2 lessons with Chi, and he fucking changed my life. I've done a lot of lessons with Aiden, but there was maybe like 2 or 3 that I did with him that was just like, oh my gosh, how did I not think about this? And that's why I like to always give them credit over things and mention them, because like, I don't know, I hope that it doesn't come off as me trying to spout off of like, look who I've learned under, but it's more of like, man, I got something that was so valuable, that, you know, and even with the other guys too, with Frequent and Copycat and all them, like I remember all the lessons that they gave to me, and also lessons that people that aren't super, you know, do I have to do this? All right, give me 1 second. Fuck. Okay, that didn't happen. Just pretend. Wait, did I install Life on this already? I thought I did. I guess I didn't. Something went wrong. Please try again. Cannot connect. Okay, let me try to disconnect this real quick. What the hell is wrong with this? I'm just trying to open this bitch. Okay, retry. Dude, what? App Store, please. It is not letting me connect to the App Store. Bruh, why? Why? Can I just say I'm done pairing? I'm done recording. This is your source file. Next. Okay, we'll do that later. I had a small filming catastrophe where my tripod fell over, so give me a second to pull that back up. We back up. That's what happens when you use your phone as your thing. So what do we got here? Oh, this is the basketball court thing. Okay. Oh, it has nudging, which is nice. But it would be nicer if I could offset one of these specifically. So, I mean, it has a few little different groove things, which is nice. Can I make this bigger? Yeah, this only has... Okay. That's cool. It's where it moves it off grid. I think this is cool. But to me, it's just a starting point. Okay. This is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I like what it's doing rhythmically. It's not really anything I couldn't come up with myself, but... I'm not really even paying attention to this shit. I'm paying attention to how this is playing back. Because the thing is that even though this is kind of cool, I don't think that they're ever going to update this. You know what I mean? So it's like... Yeah, but That's kind of what I would want out of a plugin, you know? Auto slicer's cool. But it does the same thing every time. I guess it can create up to 16 slices, I'm guessing. Or maybe 12. I mean, yeah, you can definitely come up with something cool with this, but I don't necessarily... I need to, like, mess around with this and see, like, the interaction that I can get out of whatever it is that I record, which I'll do later because I have to download on my phone, but my phone's being stupid, so... But to me, like I said, this would be a starting point, right? And honestly, I'd probably just do something like this. I know this is annoying, I'm sorry. Does it have a built-in clipper? It doesn't seem like it. That sucks. XO does, but this one doesn't. To a percussive generator sample? Oh. So, I mean, what I would likely do is, you know, just toss it into here and then be like, okay. You know, something like that is kind of cool. So, like... But yeah, to me, this is no different. Yeah, so I think that with this, it's okay, but I I I don't know. I feel like I'm glad I didn't buy this because I'm not really sold on this, to be honest. Oh, I mean, I feel like I could just toss a sample in here and get to cooking anyways, because that's what I would want to do with it. But I don't. I think it's kind of convenient, but I feel like it takes away from from. I don't know. I might mess with it for a few days and see if I can find something that I can do that would be unique for me and the way that I would want to work. I think that for a lot of people, I could see this being valuable, but a lot of stuff that this does, it's like it doesn't really have everything that I want it to. Yo, Suffer, what's up, bro? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could just make the shit out of like, yeah, that's true. If somebody wants to rap over it or whatever, but you know, we could ding ding chicka ding ding. I mean, most of the time, the way that I make stuff, anyways, is just, well, you know. Something like this. Turn that on. Convolution reverb. I feel like I could just do something like this instead and get something that's more unique that I haven't come up with myself, you know. Ding ding chicka ding ding. 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 Ding chicka ding. Ding ding chicka ding ding. Ding ding chicka ding ding. Wait, what? Ding ding. Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a sec. Ding ding chicka ding ding. Ding ding. Ding ding chicka ding ding. Ding ding chicka ding ding. Ding ding ding. Ding ding chicka ding ding. Sorry. Working on it. Yeah, so I don't think that half of the people that see this would want to go to the extents that I'm going through, but ding 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 ding. Ding ding. At the same time, if you do stuff like this, then you get unique sounds. I'm not really sure why it's so quiet. Oh, that's why it's so quiet. Sorry. Okay, so all of that, all of this shit. We'll start with this. Like, I like utilizing stuff like this because it's kind of like, I don't know what's going to come of, like, what's going to happen. And that's why I like doing this, because, I mean, even with this, right? So let's set this to repitch. Right? I'm sorry, you just, like, if you have this kind of workflow, nothing can fucking beat this. Which I know most people don't, but, like... That's cool. Like, there's so many ideas in this. Even that's cool. That's fucking sick.
Recording to logbook.
Yo, thanks Edwin, appreciate it. Even though there's clicks in that, that's so cool. That was cool. Sorry. You know, or just a bunch of different shit. It's all kind of there, and just tons of riffs, and then you can mix and match, so you can be like, and all of this stuff is really insignificant because it's really just about movement and about coming up with rhythms and shit, but I like doing it that way. So I guess life could be a good place to start, but I don't know. I'm not really. I think that I prefer my workflow instead. That's such a cool sound. But take your pick, you know. Anything can like be a percussive rhythmic riff. Like even that's actually really cool. I would probably want to pitch it down, but and probably make it shorter, but Take your pick, guys. Like you can, and like I said, once you have this as a starting point for the rhythm, then all you have to do is start to change it into something that sounds more percussive, or in a world that you find it belongs in. But for me, any of this shit. That's so cool. And then start putting them on top of each other, take some weird shit. And then you can change it. If you don't like it, you can just, or make a different variation of it. And that's why like the power of rhythm is so important, because it really, I mean, it's on par with melody, but like just what it can do for you if you choose to dive into this. Oops. You get what I'm saying? So I think I made my point, but for me, like using something like Life would get me to here, but at this point, I'm kind of just like, nah, I'll just toss anything in there and do it myself because I think that it's the coolest thing I think that Life has to offer is the integration of like a cloud to where whatever you record, it's already readily available. But honestly, like, I don't know, with AirDrop and all that other stuff, it's really not that big of a deal. I guess it's kind of an inconvenience if actually it's not because I'm using my phone to be on camera anyway, so it doesn't make a difference to me. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think about Life? I think it's overrated, especially for $150 for now. I mean, this is my first impression, but just seeing what it has to offer, um, I guess it can be cool for like coming up with ideas on your own, but like, I don't know. I feel like this is my world right here with like coming up with weird ways to twist shit and whatnot. Oh, there are more useful things for me to spend money on. I actually really, yeah, I do really like Beam. I like Beam a lot. I just got here like 2 minutes ago. What is it? It's basically like a fully encouraged beat slicer, and it has a companion app on your phone that goes to a cloud to where like if you record something outside, it'll already be ready for you to start to like mangle and to work with. But to be honest with you, I don't, just like everything else, I might pull it out every once in a while, but I'm really just a keyboard and mouse kind of dude. But I mean, considering all things that I have to slice and dice, I think I'd be more interested in just like wild ass effects that can do some really unpredictable things that I've never heard before or something. But I think that Life in particular is kind of just like, it doesn't do enough for me, I think. I'm also really surprised that it doesn't have a built-in clipper, because XO did, and that was one of the best things that made XO stand out versus Atlas. Which is wild. Excuse me, which is wild, because it's like, why would you not? Why would you not do that? Unless if I'm tripping. But I don't think that output, balance other presets, tempo, groove, pitch, a kick maker. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure it's solving any problems doing something better than what's already offered. Well, no, that's I wouldn't say that's necessarily fair, because it solves a lot of problems that some people have an issue with doing, you know. I think that this is a helper, just like Scalar 2, right? Like Scalar 2 is actually a lot more useful for me than it is someone like Corey, because Corey's really advanced at it. And I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or anything, but when it comes into finding percussion out of shit and making a riff, like that's what I spend all my time doing. More than anything, actually. I think that I spend more time doing that shit than I do making basses now. So for someone like me, I'm like, you know, but for someone else, right? For someone else that's like, yo, I just want some quick inspiration and, you know, I want to do that. Like, it's not a bad plugin. I just don't think that I'd personally utilize it. I've got a lot of drum plugins, lots of sequencing shit, and the drum circle thing is kind of cool, but I just, yeah, I don't know. I really like enjoy making, I think maybe that's what it is I'm really kind of like perhaps even closed-minded because I've gotten such a familiarity with my workflow about how I make things. But I don't think that the plugin is bad, although the clipper omission is probably the most offensive thing that I'm like, what the fuck happened? But to be fair, you can just clip stuff on the outside. But I don't know. It seems cool. Definitely demo it because they have a demo. So why not if it's something that you're remotely interested in? But I think I would just rather record stuff on my phone and pull it up and start doing my own thing, because I think that I would get percussion that I'm a lot happier with anyways. I don't know. I think that what would really be cool for me personally, and this isn't going to happen, but I think that they should have capitalized on this, and they should have made it to where like you can free move the circle and create your own rhythms and whatnot, to where like you see how there's these little steps, like you can make it be syncopated and you can kind of make it move, but you see it's all confined to a grid of some sort. And I think that if you could twist the circles as opposed to just adding a groove, like you can slide them, I'd buy it immediately, because I'd be like, that's fucking sick. But you can't, and for me that's a no-go. Thought you were thinking of a different plugin. Yeah. Well, it's been on my mind lately, and I kind of just wanted to check it out because I never gave it a chance because I was really worried about the end user license agreement, which they clarified, which, you know, that's a big win for Excellent Audio. But yeah, I mean, no matter what comes out of this, I'm going to want to mangle anyways. So I might as well just mangle. Like, I do think that it's more efficient for me to mangle by hand. But it's like, yeah, he did a similar thing, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like, perhaps Bitwig could benefit from this because it has an auto slicer, so there's that, you know. But it doesn't have warp modes, which kind of stinks. Like, yeah, like when we're talking about like features and stuff, I just feel like it doesn't have enough. It has a cool interface, it looks great, but as far as what it does, it's like, it's not all that great. This is just a glorified sequencer. But if you look at this in the edit thing, like this is your actual sequencer, so it's the same thing as XO. It's just that it will auto slice the sample for you. Did I see Chi's story on his Beats Mode thing he made? No. I'm surprised he didn't tell me about it. Actually, I'm not surprised. He's like the hardest person in the world to get a hold of. But he actually helped me last night with... Is it on his Instagram? I could just look at his Instagram. Yeah. I don't know. The nudge thing is cool. Screen record it. I don't know a better way to send it. Well, that's what I was asking. Like, is it... Oh, it's gone already? Okay. Did you already send it? I can take a look at it. What do you mean by Beats Mode thing? Oh, Chained Exos is on sale. Yeah, I'm curious, what do you mean by Beats Mode? Like Ableton Beats Mode? Warping? Oh, I've already covered that. In several different ways. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, So what you do is you use a replacer to trigger a gate, and by doing that, you can create a beats mode. But I showed him a different way how you could do that, because what you can do on this is separate this into transients like this, and go right click, slice and place. And then with this beat grid or the onsets or whatever, you can actually create custom different size beats, or like beats mode sizes with this. Kind of like so. But yeah, he did show me that device, and I still think that it's cool. But I personally just use Extractor. I didn't pay for it, and you could grab it on sale. But Extractor is pretty much Beats mode, but in a VST. So what this does is it locates transients, and it makes it really short. The one thing that I don't like about this, and maybe I should set this on multiband or something, is that this has a tendency to create clicks. But the B mode, I think, but yeah, this is Beats mode as well. So if we have something like this, so I mean, that's one thing that you can do. But in regards to the replacer, he uses that to trigger MIDI, and what that does whenever you trigger MIDI is you can cut the signal to be a lot shorter. He has made some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. Like, he remade the Culture Vulture distortion in the grid, and he made this like crazy ass like drum randomizer inside the grid. Like, he is extremely familiar with grid shit. Like, that dude is, I don't know how he does it. But for me, I'm like, I really just want to be as efficient as possible. And I find that for beats mode, either doing it like the auto slice thing works for me, or B, just using Extractor, which is usually what I lean towards anyways. But I need to take another look at that and maybe see if I can like soften the transient and make it not so clicky. Because didn't you learn a lot from Edit? I know that they're friends. And I don't think that Edit was like, I mean, you should ask him, but I don't think that Edit was like his mentor or anything. I mean, fuck, he's from South Africa, but I know that Zayn and Aiden and Lee and John Casey spent a lot of time together, and they kind of cultivated their style. Like, I call them the Ninja Turtles of music production, because it's the four of them, and they all have a very similar flow and style. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I know that Lee also likes a lot of Moody Good. And I mean, everybody like knows each other. I don't say that as I don't put myself in that circle, but when it comes into all the producers that are all doing the touring and stuff, like, they all know each other and they all learn from each other. And I think that's why it's really cool, is because, you know, we're all kind of doing the same thing, you know, like, you all kind of know all the YouTubers, right? And whatever thing that comes up, if someone comes up with some new information or something, like I mentioned Dash at the beginning of this thing, and I was like, you know, that's my dude, or that's one of my guys, of being like, oh, this guy, you know, Dash showed me how to do this, and kind of just sharing information. But that's the beautiful thing about the community. It's the beautiful thing when people aren't being jerks on YouTube, I'd say. But those guys don't come around very often. Yeah. Ton of modulating. All of a sudden he's making dope grid shit. Yeah, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. I would like to say that I talk to him often, but I don't. I'm lucky if I ever get to talk to him at all. So there's kind of that, but when we do talk, we talk about cool shit. So yeah, I think on that note, guys, I don't really have anything else that I want to do today. I'm kind of gassed, and I think that I'm ready to just like lay on the couch for a day or something, like face down and just take a nap, if you can't tell. But I appreciate you guys kicking with me today, and I will have a dedicated video on the DJing thing probably in the next few days or so. But thank you all so much for hanging out, and hit me up if you have any questions. Check the Discord. Check out Alckemy.com if you want to support the channel, book a lesson. Some of you already have. Thank you very much. Liking videos is really cool too. I don't know, be positive. If you don't do anything else, fuck Alckemy, be positive. Right? Bye, guys. Have an awesome rest of your evening. I'll see you all on Friday. I'm not burnt out. I'm just sleepy. But yeah. All right. Bye, guys. I'll see you later.